Quick announcement, we got another wave of UGC Roblox accessories that I just cooked up from last week and some goodies beforehand. We got the jellyfish hats, the owl earrings, the shinobi eye patches, and Sharko backpacks, so pick them up. They're fully customizable on any avatar. The links are going to be down below, and comment what you guys want to see next since I'm dropping new stuff next week. What's up guys, it's Punchy and we're back with another Deepwoken weekly update fresh out of the oven with some goodies for everyone. This patch has a lot to dig into, so you already know I'm about to test everything and yap about it. If you missed last week, the devs straight up blessed us with the Guiding Star Bow, a whole new legendary weapon class, and some ridiculously fun outfits to work with. They were cooking no doubt, but that was last week. Let's see what's on the menu today. As always, if you truly want that full experience, I recommend hopping in game and testing everything new for yourself. Let's get right into it. Starting off our new content with more reworks and polish, the new menu UI got another round of upgrades this week. If you peeked at your inventory or stats, you probably noticed things looked a little bit different, and yeah, the devs weren't done yet. Compared to last week, the menu's more transparent, letting you see through it, and matching borders now frame everything clearly. The power icon got a redesign alongside new symbols for your chosen traits, and there's even more tweaks beyond that. Overall though, it's looking way smoother after some extra love, and now, don't get me wrong, nothing really beats the OG verse 1 stat sheet. That thing was peak, but honestly, this one's starting to grow on me. I don't really know how I feel about this, but I think it's getting there. Moving forward, character customization also got a pretty nice update with changes to the BOON and FLAW selection. Each option now has a unique icon that better represents what it does, making the menu more visually clear. You can also deselect boons with a simple click, and removing a flaw no longer forces you to lose a boon. Overall, the system is more streamlined, making character creation a lot smoother. This is clean. Next, onto some weapon adjustment reworks. We finally received new criticals for the officer and cavalry saber. Alright, this one's kind of funny because there's two completely different weapons, but they have the same exact critical attack. I mean, it makes sense because everyone treats these weapons exactly the same, so they might as well be. But hey, at least they're no longer just forgotten, abandoned, and only used for drip. Before, these sabers had the same basic sword critical, nothing special, but now it's different. Pressing crit unleashes a one-handed flurry, slicing your target 4 times in quick succession. The damage here isn't too bad, especially compared to the M1s, and it might even scale up with some modifiers. But the best part, you can move mid-animation. It's fun, and there's no being stuck in place while swinging, and I like this. Anyway, share your own thoughts down below, and if you really don't like this, just use a Smith's alloy to get rid of it. Additionally, both of these weapons just got alloys, which boosts up their stats and maybe will make them a little bit more relevant in the current PvP landscape. Adding onto newly reworked weapons, we got something new for the Golem Great Maul. Before this change, it was a fairly conventional Great Hammer, a very slow swinging option with the baseline Great Hammer crit. Luckily, this has changed in the latest patch. Instead, we swing the Great Maul around in a whirlwind like spinning attack, hitting with solid damage posture while moving around. It's kinda crazy how long this actually lasts, but be careful because it's definitely punishable if you're whiffing. Next up, with a small but simple mantra, we have access to Neural Pathway. If you guys played Rogue Lineage, this option might be for you. This mantra is a very simple, very basic, and lackluster teleport for the intelligence attribute, and that's simply all it does. We can look in the direction we're facing and slightly zip forward, similar to lightning dashes, and that's all. From what I can tell, this isn't a mantra that can actively hit targets for damage, and its entire use is for repositioning. It's not exactly flashy or anything insane, but I'm sure there's more combat capability than I'm showcasing right here. So check it out. After this, we got something even crazier with the charisma mantra Dread Whisper, and it's very weird. This ability is decently expensive to obtain and works in basically any combo or setup. We lunge forward with a grab, whisper to our enemy while applying charm, and this is kinda easy to land. With any stun or lockdown, it's gonna be hitting with its massive hitbox, but the damage is weak. Let me know your thoughts down below, but I think it's flexible. It's time to move on to some crazy outfits and weird talents that are unlike anything even in the game. Adding a unique special talent to the already existing options, the Jester's Garb and Trickster's Habit, we have the new Mocking Favor talent. Basically, if you activate your taunt or spit, you can proc a random effect, and there's a lot of these. This taunt or spit doesn't have to hit, it will always happen, and that's pretty cool. Some of these proc effects make the user invisible, some of them disable the enemy's spit, refresh your own spit, disable your own mantras, or even change attributes to damage, tempo, or stun. There's a bunch of crazy things that can pop up and it makes sense, but visually, the opposite twin will always show up, emote, and say something in the chat to tease what status is happening. This is easily one of the most unpredictable and interesting mechanics in the game, and there's a lot to test. Honestly, it's worth messing around with just for the chaos alone, and pick this up from the circus. Additionally, with a new outfit also dropping from the circus, we have the Carefree garments. The drip here with a masculine version is pretty clean, with a casual collared shirt alongside some adventurer add-ons, which I think is cool. Now, if you change your gender presentation at the barber, you can have the feminine version of this outfit, which is a simple dress with similar colors. Honestly, I'm a huge fan of how these simple yet flexible outfits feel because they can work with almost anything. The talent here is also pretty good and powerful, Fleetfoot, and it grants you a speed boost after a slide jump. Overall, it's pretty solid with mobility, but try it out for yourself. Next, we have a drippy new equipment with the SEAMASTER'S cap. This is a pretty clean hat for the captain of a ship, and I'm a fan of how it looks. This is flexible with a ton of different outfits, and I think it can dye well, but it is a little bit dark. Moving on to a small change to visuals, Khans can finally toggle their sideburns. I know a lot of players liked Khan, but weren't too interested in their bonus hair, but that can be disabled through character creation or the barber. Honestly, this is huge for customization, and I'm glad it's finally been added after large community demand. Now, onto this week's balance changes, and honestly, there's some weird adjustments here, so I'll highlight the biggest ones. One of the biggest changes in this update is a rework to the Curse of the Unbidden. Previously, landing a critical would let you counter and completely nullify damage for free, but now there's a cost. Activating the Unbidden counter consumes about 25% of your ether, though you do get some back if you time it successfully. On the upside, Unbidden now grants ether on M1 hits, but its drain on enemies has been reduced. Instead of just subtracting ether, you're now stealing and using it for yourself. It's less of a straight nerf and more of a shift in how this curse works in combat, and I prefer that. Next up, we got a pretty wild change. Stack building enchants on light weapons just got a serious buff. Before, enchants like Grim or Chilling required most light weapons to land 7 hits to proc when rapiers only needed 5. Now, it's been standardized across the board, meaning every single light weapon only needs to hit 5 times to activate these effects. This means enchants are proccing way more often with light weapon, especially for those faster options. It's a huge buff, and honestly, it might be a little bit busted. What do you guys think? Is it too difficult to use, or is it just right? Now, onto some mantra changes. We got some cool visual updates to our diving mantras. Previously, Sanguine Dive and Shade Step didn't have any visual, but now in this new update, they kinda look the same as Beast Burrow with a red indicator on top. So this is cool, but were these moves ever like mix-ups? I don't really know about that, and I'm not too sure who's getting hit by these. Now, onto a nerf that everyone saw coming. The Guiding Star got hit with some real balance changes that switch it up. This new legendary bow had insane range, but let's be real, it was completely overtuned on release. In this patch, its M1 range got pulled back to 12, which is still wild. Instead of the ridiculous 17.4 it was somehow hitting. Its swing speed also took a hit, making it a little bit slower, but to compensate, its damage got buffed from 14 to 15, giving it more impact. It was still busted before, but after these tweaks, I guess we'll see how it feels. Anyway, that's all for today's update, so hop in game, try out Battle Royale, and if you're lucky, you might even see me. Thank you so much to everyone who supports the channel, it really means a lot. If you want even more content, you can join up down below, and for updates or to reach out directly, join my Discord. And if you're interested in running with my guild, The Apothecary, it's gonna be linked, and I do have a UGC group with new items. Big thanks as always for all the support. Don't forget to like and subscribe since we just hit 110k subs. I appreciate you all, it's punchin' time.